This training that you're seeing here today is the detection in particularly bladder cancer, and what the dogs have to do is learn to ignore healthy and diseased urine but find one that's actually got the cancer molecules in. On the carousel you'll see the dog work around, it will sniff each point in turn. When it comes across the cancer sample, it will give a passive indication. That will either be a stand stare, which Daisy will be doing today, or a sit stare, which some of our other dogs do.
We don't do any screening of patients, but however, during our research time, there have been a number of people who have come through as controls, so they believe themselves to be healthy, or the hospital believes them to be healthy, and actually the dogs have repeatedly alerted on these patients, so we've sent this information back to the hospital. And in a number of cases, these people have been found to have cancers. My dog Daisy, who'd been working actually on urine samples, started to behave a little bit differently around me, and I took her for a walk one day. I lifted the back of the car up in order to let her go for a run, and whereas the other dogs jumped out and went for a run, Daisy jumped into my chest. And she seemed very persistent about doing this, so I pushed her away, but I felt a sort of bruised feeling, almost like an old bruise when you press at it. And I thought that I might be able to feel a lump under this painful area, so I left it for a few days, but the area didn't change, it still felt painful, so I went to my GP, was referred to a surgeon, and was diagnosed subsequently with breast cancer. We are investigating a screening service where in the future people may, through their doctor, may provide samples if there is perhaps a question as to whether or not they may have cancer or not. For example, the PSA, which is the current blood test for prostate cancer, is very, very unreliable, has a 75% false positive rate. It's very, very difficult for medics to work out which people are in fact the people that they should be sending for a biopsy or not. Now, if you have a urine screen that's done by, say, 2 dogs, that overlays the PSA, so in fact if you have a high PSA, which has this high false positive rate, but you then have an indication from a dog, and the dog perhaps has a false positive rate that is only 5%, you can imagine if you get yes, yes on both tests, then of course then a biopsy would be the next step.
If you run out of it, I'll give you a sachet of that stuff that we use.